Okay, I want to say it's good morning, everybody, because I'm on the East Coast, so everybody should be behind me. And I knew somebody had to go to the doctor, but they must have had a good visit because they're already on the call. But we'll do a round robin, go around the horn here, introducing ourselves. It is being recorded, but we have fine-tuned this meeting, right, Mr. Davis? So lately, it is not going to take that very long. Because we've worked out a lot of our goals in the past. But I am Tyrone Fisher. I am in North Carolina. I am your outgoing national chair. So I don't know if I got a replacement yet. Might be on this call now. But yeah, I figured I saw an email, so I figured it might have been you. So but definitely I've served 4 years as your national chair. I've served some years before that as a vice chair for the Southern region, but definitely 28 years in extension, loving it still. And so definitely we'll go to our incoming chair, Mr. Davis.
Thanks, Tyrone. I am currently Southern Vice Chair. I've been there a couple of years. And as Tyrone said, I'll be coming in as chair. Unfortunately, I have surgery scheduled for Friday, so that has changed my plans totally. I have been to several meetings and I thought, well, I've got at least one more to learn from Tyrone, what I really have to do next year, and then surgery on Friday. So I won't be able to be there in person. I'll be there next year, Lord willing, and all. But I am county director in Dyer County on the Mississippi River in Tennessee. I did several years in Arkansas before I moved over a couple of years ago. So I've always been in the southern region, but I have changed states in the last couple of years, and looking forward to all the things in the next couple of years.
We'll go Mike, that's probably in the doctor's office parking lot.
No, I'm on US 23 in a traffic jam. So no, I had a sports medicine doctor's appointment at 7 for an elbow and my cardiologist annual thing. So I'm healthy and ready for Dallas.
But what region are you representing?
Oh, North Central region. I'm an extension educator in Ohio and started my 33rd year.
Okay. Miss Bonnie.
Good morning. I'm Bonnie Hopkins. I'm the Western Region Vice Chair. I work for New Mexico State University, right in the four corners. I'm a county agent in San Juan County, New Mexico. I'm out irrigating this morning. So I'm just going to take you guys along while I move a little bit of water. This is my first time on the committee, so I'm looking forward to learning a little bit about what you all need from me. I served for 5 years on the poster committee for professional excellence. So this will be an interesting shift, and I look forward to seeing everybody in Dallas next week.
Well, we'll just let you know this is the best place to be, the best committee. So welcome aboard, and we'll go to Nick.
Hey, sorry about that. Had to step out for a second. Yeah, Nick Simmons, rolling on as Southern Region Vice Chair, I guess next week. Just finishing up my term as committee chair for posters. So Bonnie and I were on a committee for a while, so good to see her again. Just looking forward to working with you all and seeing you next week and learning more about the committee.
Okay. Miss Elizabeth.
Morning, everyone. Elizabeth Wally. I'm University of Illinois Extension. I'm state specialist in specialty crops, fruits, and vegetables statewide. I'm housed down in the St. Louis Metro East area, right along the Mississippi River on the upper end. And I'm representing Illinois, and I'm sitting in today just to see what the committee is doing and what I need to be doing to elevate our state's representation.
Okay. And Scott's on. I don't know if you can wave his hand, but Scott is our host and our executive director for the Ag Agent Association. He's making sure that I behave on this meeting and everything gets done properly, probably. But he keeps the vice chairs and the chairs, national chairs, meeting their deadlines and meeting the needs of the national officers. So thank you, Scott. I know you're probably multitasking. And what we're going to talk about today is we usually do this. We've done it. This might be our second time. I can't remember, Terrell. We did this last year on Zoom, but we used to do this in face-to-face, in person. We have a form, a worksheet that we go through, that we put down our goals. I'm gonna bring it up. The last couple of years, the 4 years I've done it, I've just brought up the previous years, and we've changed it or added it. We have made a lot of success with our SMART goals. One of them this year was to make sure we had representation from all 4 regions. Hallelujah. We did that because we left money on the table and it mostly came out of the Northeast, but definitely we tried to give that money somewhere else, and the national officer said no. But definitely this was a positive year where all 4 regions were represented. All 4 regions received money. It's not in its depth, so we can talk about if we want to go more in depth with the Northeast. I mean, maybe we can talk about later, maybe having 2 representations from the Northeast, but definitely to my knowledge, we have filled all our positions. We'll talk about that as well. I want to say everybody's represented right now, but I will double check that. Because Liz, you're attending as a member, right? You're not attending as a vice chair. Okay. What we have is I know we do have a replacement that's incoming for the Northeast. So we did get a replacement. So and I may have to find that email from Ms. Harper as well. I'm going to share my screen so you look at the form that I'm filling out, and let me do a screenshot real quick so I can just be my roll call, my screenshot. There we go. Share screen, Word document, share. Okay. I don't know why it's not coming up bigger than what it should be. Okay. 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 Let me. Can everybody see my screen? And it's the annual committee workshop report and plan of work form. Everybody's good. Okay. A lot of this stuff is not going to change. But just want to give you a heads up. This is named our committee, Public Relations and Agriculture Awareness. As you know, that there's another public relations committee, but we had to add agriculture awareness to identify ourselves different from the rest. We're recording the meeting. I'm gonna say screenshot, and I'll come back to that later. Screenshot it. And we do have one guest here with Miss Elizabeth. We won't count Scott as a guest, but I will fine tune this before I send it in as well. I'm just using shorthand. Now, our committee goals for last year, for upcoming year was we plan to invite state winners. If they are AMPIC, please attend our luncheon to receive your reward and picture with the sponsor. Research alternative ways to market the award to increase participation. 3 out of the 4 regions submitted for the finalists. Our goal is 4 for 4. So the first statement is we need to keep the first statement. What let's do. Terrell knows, and Mike does too. I think Mike was there last year as well. We give out our checks for our state winners at our meeting. all of our national finalists and national winner, they present, but we also give out checks. So for our vice chairs, if you can encourage or contact presidents or contact your winner, I do have the pay sheet. I will try to do that as well. If you want to do some encouragement for your state winners to please participate, and we'll have our checks there for them. That's what we've done in Florida and Iowa. We will continue to move forward with that. Yes, it's not required for a state winner, but it looks good for the sponsorship if they're there. So that is why we ask for the state winners to be there if they can attend ours. Several of you may remember we used to do a plated lunch, 25 max. In Florida, because of budget reasons, we went to the table lunch or the deli lunch like everybody else. Our numbers soar. We went from 25 to 40 plus. So I have not heard, but I'm assuming we're probably gonna keep that same arrangement. Yes, we love plated lunches. That's why I tell rookie and first timers, you go to the registration and you sign up for the plated lunches first, because those are the best meals. But now I don't think nobody gets plated lunches no more. I think we all serving either buffet or deli style. But definitely our attendance has grown since we've changed that, and we haven't had no limitations. But so that gives nobody no reason to not attend our award luncheon. So if you know of a state winner personally, or you have access to the state winners from the website, please send an encouraged email. We'll have their checks for them. If they don't pick it up, Ms. Harper will mail it to them, but I will have checks in hand. Now, as I stated that, we did reach our goal of 4 for 4. We had 1 representation from the Northeast. It did not say we had to have more than 1. Our goal was to get 4 for 4. We had all our regions met. So we struggled in the West one time before. So this is something. The North Central and the Southern region are the 2 strongest for applications. And so, but usually the West have slim pickings, and the Northeast has struggled getting applications in during my watch. So the question I ask for you, now that we've reached a goal of 4 for 4, should we go into each region and have a goal of 2 or more applications, or the floor is open on any goals to improve our application pool, to improve the public relations award, agriculture awareness and appreciation? That's what I wanted to ask this group. What should be our upcoming goals? And I can, if you still need some more information or something, I'm here to answer. Terrell is here as well as incoming, but definitely he needs to know is what goals to achieve. What goals should we look in going into each region? Because like I said, the Southern region and the North Central, if we said 2 or more, they'll probably meet that goal. But the West and the Northeast may need some help with marketing and some encouragement on those ends. So the floor is open for incoming goal.
Well, Tyrone, if I could speak first from North Central, I mean, we kind of shifted a North Central regional application over to the Northeast because it was a multi-state application. So, I mean, it was great that we got it, but you know, what happened there was our second place Ohio winner then became a national winner, but it's not a big deal. But what I found was in the North Central region, I don't know whether or not all of our state associations have chairs for ag awareness and public relations. And I got feedback from like Minnesota and maybe another when I sent out personal email but I'm just curious whether it would help if we knew state associations had state chairs.
The issue or how to address that in the past, because that question has came up before. If you receive no response or no contact with the state chair, it is the president's responsibility to get the awards in.
Okay.
So I do not know how to go beyond that without stepping on each president's toes, because that was we've been told in the past. If you receive no response, or the outgoing person is still listed, no longer there, and the new person hasn't came in yet, it is the state president's responsibility to get a state chair. Now, I can speak on that based on North Carolina. Yes, if a state chair drops, it is the president-elect, the new president coming in, is their responsibility to fulfill that state chair. But is there a way to do that without stepping on the president's toes?
I can tell you, this is Scott, I can tell you that Tyrone is correct that like under the leadership tab and then under the committees, and then you go to your council and you can see a listing. If you click on your committee, you can see a listing of, there's a button to push for showing all the state chairs. And if it is a state president that is in that role, I don't have my screen up right now, but I think it highlights it and it makes it clear that it's the state president's name that's in there. But now the other issue is if the states haven't updated their officers, there may not be a state president listed. So that leads to another challenge. But anyway, I can tell you that since there is an award involved with this committee, even though that state president is listed in that spot, that state president does not have, in order for them to see the award applications and to approve it, if that's the role they want to take and just do it, I have to go in and make them officially the state chair. So it's the award is only going to show up in the state chair box, not necessarily a president's box. So there's a couple steps we got to take to make it happen. But as Tyrone stated, you know, we don't really want to go in and start overstepping and approving at the regional level, approving state award winners without getting input from the state. You know, if they come back and say, well, yeah, I viewed it, go ahead and click the button, approve XYZ as the state winner, then sure, it's okay for you to click the button, but to approve it. But there are a couple things I'm going to do differently on this end. This coming
Jesus
year,
fucking Christ.
if you're a regional chair, I'm going to give you access. So like right now, a state submission is only going to show up in your portal to approve if it's been approved at the state level. And unless you've gone in and looked to see under the state overview how many submissions were done by your state, there's still applications sitting out there in limbo that were never approved. And I know we kind of ran into that this year, but it wasn't just your committee, it was several. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to give all regional chairs access to all state submissions so they can.
Come on.
You will see if someone has submitted from a state. So anyway, just trying to kind of make things a little easier for regional chairs to see everything.
Thank you, Scott. That'll be very helpful.
Yep. And to make sure to go back to what Scott was saying, I've done 4 years as national. I've done some years before that as vice. I'm going to say probably 3 years out of maybe 6 or 8, how long I've done it. We had to go back and regrade because we missed some applications that was not approved by the state. And we still have that issue. We had an issue this year. But it's only really affected the final score maybe one time, or the final selection. But definitely, that is a challenge. Mike and Terrell is prepared for this too, because it might have been in his district, region this year, that he had to go in and resolve that as well. So just like in any leadership, conflict management, resolution, we have to do that. And so, but I will put down here, work to recruit state chairs through state presidents, as one of our goals. And like I said, it took me a while to learn the new system. It works. Once you learn it, it works. So definitely, what Scott mentioned with clicking the button or state president and state chairs and all that stuff. But unfortunately, what I'm about to say is you're only as good as your communication chair for each state is, because if they don't update your website, you're shooting blind. If they don't update anything, it puts us in a bind. So we're only as good as the state communication chair that's in charge of the website, in charge of loading up people and putting in the incoming and outcoming. Because we've run into the person. I gave up that position 2 years ago. It's not me. Well, so
Yeah,
that was-
I can tell you that when we did switch the website over, the role of a state president being able to go in and upload their officers and committee chairs, that disappeared. They have to fill out a spreadsheet and send it to me, and I have to do it on my end. So I have gone in now and put that spreadsheet up in 2 different locations on the website. One's on the state president page and one is on the committee page. And I'm going to be leaning heavily on the regional directors this year to assist me in getting those spreadsheets updated. The problem is states have their state meetings at all different times of the year. A lot of them are in the fall, some of them are in the winter, some of them are in the spring, some of them are right before the annual meeting, which there's no consistency on when those officers and committee chairs, we go on an AMPIC to AMPIC schedule, but state associations don't necessarily follow that. So, but I'm going to lean on the regional directors to help me, because your committee is not the only one that struggles with needing those state chairs and officers, ideally presidents, updated and current. So we're working on it.
Okay. Does anybody we'll put down as a goal. Does anybody have or is in favor of working on our depth for each region? We want to first keep our 4 for 4. Continue to have, and I'm not dictating here now, continue to have all regions represented. I know I misspelled that. I'll come back later. Is 2 or more applications a good concept to have? Is everybody okay with that, or should it be 3 or more, or the floor is open on how many each region should have to vote on?
I'd say a goal of 2 would be decent. I mean, we want it obtainable. 3 might be stretching it for some.
So Tyrone, I can speak a lot for the West, and we have a direct correlation with the location of the meetings and the amount of awards that are put in. So because the conferences for the next 2 years are in the West, I feel confident that we can get more Western applications in. It's hard. So you have your folks that go to the conference every year. They're putting in for communication awards because they're fairly easy. I do think one limitation is that the idea that you have to do a poster to put in for this award is very confusing when you don't know anything about the award. You've never seen it. If you go to the instructions say you have to do a poster. And so it seems like twice the work, which I think is discouraging for people to submit the application. If you're going through and you're looking at effort versus award, if you have to do, you know, twice the work for this one, I think it's a little bit confusing. Like, could you do a poster that you submit for the poster contest and then use that same information for ag awareness and appreciation, which I think is what their goal is, but I don't know if that might be double dipping. So I think clarifying some of that information might be helpful. And I think that because a lot of people haven't attended the meeting in the past, I can be honest, from the West, I've never seen anybody ever apply for this award. I didn't know anything about it until I saw the vice chair position open, and I thought, well, I'll go learn a little bit more about that. But nobody in the West knows anything about this. So that's definitely something that I work on. But I think having a goal for at least 2 per region is fine. I think that's shooting a little bit low. Maybe like a percentage of the states, like 25% of the number of states in your region. I don't know.
That's aim for the stars there, boy.
I mean, I'll get it higher in the West, at least for the next 2 years. I feel confident in that. But once the meeting moves to a more remote location, I think that folks are having a really hard time with the cost of attending the conference. It just keeps going up and up. And when we've got such huge distances to travel from the West to get to the meetings, I think it's just discouraging for folks to go.
Okay.
So that's what I see in the West.
I can give you several. I want to open with your first statement was with the poster. In my 4 years, and even as vice chair, the only requirement that we have had is do the presentation. And so I will talk to Ms. Harper and the national officers to remove the poster, because that question came up last year. Did I have to bring a poster to the presentation? I said, no, your presentation will suffice. But to my knowledge, and Terrell can vouch for me, we've never had anyone bring a poster in the last 6, 7, 8 years to our presentations virtually and show it to us, or in person before COVID. And so I have read the award, and I missed that several times until somebody brought it up last year. And I said, no, don't bring no poster. I hadn't required nobody in the past. And so I'm glad you brought it up so we can put it in here. But I will request either removing the poster or making it optional, because number one, our presentation, in my eyes, as national chair with our sponsor there, is the priority of that. And like I said, we've had presentations with props. We've had presentation as teams. We had presentations with engagement in the audience. And to me, that has more value than a poster. And so I will put that as a goal to remove poster from award and make it optional if possible, as if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah, so my thing was, when I was reading over the award to just figure out, you know, how do you submit for this award? What does it look like? It's not very clear on the application and the how-to section on the website that you don't have to do a poster. So I just thought that perhaps that was discouraging from people even submitting, because they looked at it and they thought they had to do more than they actually did. So my thought would be to remove the information about doing a poster and put something on there about there being optional props or additions to your presentation are welcomed, but really removing that whole line about doing posters from the application process, because I honestly think it deters people from applying because they think they have to do more than they really need to.
Okay. Well, Mike and Terrell said definitely your 25% of your region is a very high bar there. But you are in the West, and actually I would say, help me out. Is St. Paul considered Midwest? You are westward the next 3 years, so you will have opportunity to recruit. But definitely the southern region is the strongest. They always have 7, 8, 9 applications. I've looked back at, like Scott said, you can go back and look into the state applications. They have multiple applications from each state as well. And so, but definitely the West and Northeast, that's where we want to build. So I say continue all regions represented. Like I said, I'm gonna fine tune this later into better wording. But with 2 or more applications in each region for you as a regional vice chair to judge applications before they come to me. So does anybody have any other goals? Now you did mention, Bonnie, any more clarification on rules, you think, or you mentioned some things on rules that wasn't clear?
I think that's just the line in there that speaks to the posters.
Okay. Okay, so
And I'll do a deeper dive. You know, a lot of the other competitions have really strong rubrics and examples of successful applications. So I don't know if that's something that maybe we need to put together as regional chairs to send out to the state chairs to say, this is what a solid application looks like. Because I think people just need examples. I think they overthink the competition.
Yep.
It's
And
kind of what I've
everyone does
seen.
this. Everyone does this automatically. It's naturally done in most extension programming, educating the non-agriculture person mostly, but definitely we've had some great strong applications with summits, educating the public on all areas of agriculture. So definitely Mr. Terrell will be gladly continue to listen. Like I said, this may change from the previous years as well, and so be more added.
Yeah, I was just looking here. So Scott made a comment about that it's not in the magazine. Excuse me, but it is online. It says, in addition, national winner be asked to prepare a poster to support their entry for display, and then it gives you the link, poster preparation guidelines, which goes to the professional excellence page, which the poster page, and basically follows all those guidelines. So it's
Yeah.
basically like, am I doing a poster or yeah? So
Yeah, and I'm going to say in the 6-7 years I've been in this position, it was brought up the first time last year, and so I was like, somebody said, "Do I still need to do a poster?" I was like, "What you talking about?" So we either have the previous administration before me disregarded because I did not inherit it, and I'm not going to inherit it and send that over to Terrell. So definitely, because it does, like Bonnie said, it may slow down applications because they see another variable they have to do, and so but definitely I will share that with Ms. Harper and continue to move forward.
but you're saying nobody has done it the last few years? Nobody's like talked about a poster? So
It-
it's kind of like it's been ignored anyway.
it's been ignored. Like I said, when I came in as a vice chair, I never saw a poster, and that was before COVID. And like I said, as a national chair, I never saw a poster. And like I said, the last year was the first time the winner asked about their poster, and I told them no, they don't. We hadn't allowed previous people have not done a poster, so I'm not gonna put that burden on you, because my goal is to get this presentation before our sponsorship and our membership. Because to me, your actions, your verbal, your physical person being there is more of a requirement than the poster. And I'm glad Ms. Bonnie reminded me of that was in there, and as well. So, but no, we have not seen a poster for this competition. And like I said, it could have been inherited from the previous administration, the previous national chair that disregarded. She may have inherited from the previous person before her, but I can speak at least the last 6 years or more, we have not had a poster presented at nationals or virtually at a national meeting. So
Would
I
some
will
type of
highlight that.
Would some type of education and maybe November, December before we start getting an award ceremony, award season, be beneficial to folks? It sounds like there's some confusion and what have you. And I know even here in Tennessee, I've been here for 2 years, and we haven't had an applicant since I've been here anyway. And like, I just know there are some states that are a little confused on it, but you know, this is definitely something that we're all doing. And I think just people are a little bit confused, maybe is what we do. So, you know, we might could look at that if whether we put some materials together or have a Zoom for the state chairs or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm not, you know, I hate to tell you, Terrell, I hate to tell you stuff to do and I'm leaving. So, but I'm gonna say whenever Scott sends out the awards book, we need to coincide something with that. When the awards book goes out, maybe look at an email or Zoom workshop. But like I said, if you don't do it then, they think, I think Scott's ag agent book with awards in there need to be in their hands or accessible to them whenever you do this educational thing about the award. That's my 2 cents. So anybody have other comments on the way to educate about the awards? Please let Mr. Davis know as your incoming chair. I will put it on there with the talk. This stuff will go to Miss Bonnie and Scott. Well, it'll go up the chain recommendations. And like I said, they do read them. They do come back to us and say, this is doable, or this is not doable. Like I said, one year we did ask to move money if a region did not have representation, and they said no, you just lose that money. Because we want to get more money into another region that had a good second place candidates. So they do read our reports, they do act on them, and some of them they do have to vote on.
So Elizabeth, I kind of feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Reason I'm on this call is because last year or this year, I hadn't had any contact on this committee until after the deadline. And so I figure it was a perfect storm somehow of I wasn't in the system soon enough, you know, to get if there were any earlier emails. But I still think that that is somewhat of a problem. And Scott, you know, mentioned one of the problems is if if it's not updated online, then you're not communicating probably with the right person. And it happened in Illinois. And so not only was it not promoted in Illinois, but, nothing came of it because we didn't have an awareness of it. So I'm a strong promoter of that one point of your goal, trying to figure out how to do work around the differences among states on how we communicate who is in leadership for these committee chairs. For Illinois, just perfect storm. We fell through the cracks.
Well, you're one of many, and like I said, I'm a former state president. I'm also a state chair of public relations, and like I said, I irritate December. I start irritating people, about applications, and so that's how I moved myself from state chair to vice chair to national chair, because I said, guys, most of us are already doing this program. This is the easiest one because it's already written. You've already done this program. You've done a school program. You've done educational programs. Anything that you do to non-agricultural people, politicians, elected officials, is a home run. And I have struggled, Elizabeth, trying to get people in under my leadership to do it. I say, hey, you did this program, you need to submit that. And they don't submit it. I said, it's already turnkey, you already did it. And so yeah, but at the end of the day, I still got a program that I did. I tried to get another agent to do because I was a chair. I said, I shouldn't submit this. You can submit it for me. And I still couldn't get them submitted for me. But, it's just, extension, we're not braggers. We're humble. We're not, this is, that's what it is most awards. We're not egotistic or We don't like to toot our own horn, but I've learned in administration, if you don't toot your own horn, nobody else will. And you have to do
I
that.
think we have another failing is we don't like to nag each other, but in this case, I think we need to figure out how to nag each other because we're all busy. I mean, that's a reality. We're all super busy, and it really helps to have a little nag that says, gentle reminder, reach out to your folks and get them to do this. It's if we can figure out, because I tell everyone, just nag the crap out of me because that's how I, move things up on what needs to be taken care of.
And I'm blessed to say that the state chair that followed me is doing the same thing I did, nags monthly, that on that end. Now I can also state, you coming from your state as well, we also have a list of we also create a list of all the national meetings, and we tell people that, hey, you are applying for this award because you said you want to go to Denver. You apply for this award because you said you want to go to Montana. And so we have, and then once we get their name, several people irritate them. Have you submitted yet? Have you submitted yet? Have you submitted yet? So we have done that with some of our AA awards and our DSA awards, saying that, hey, I didn't submit this year because you said you wanted to go. So where's your application? So yes, irritation is what we have to do internally. And unfortunately, that's the life. Okay. This is the budget coming in. I don't think Bayer has increased. If they decreased, gotta let me know. But our awards go out. I will double check. The form just came to me yesterday from Ms. Harper. I will double check to make sure we have funds covered. Yes, we want our awards to go up. The more people that we have, the better. As you see, that our budget is very simple. It is based on sponsorship coming from Bayer. Bayer does speak at our meeting. And I want to say, I may have gotten this presentation already. I got to double check. I got to look him up, but I think I got his presentation already. But basically we have our simple workshop. Hopefully everyone on this call can attend. All the national finalists will present, and we, like I said, at the end we will give out cash awards. So that's basically our budget. Our budget is nothing else but the luncheon and awards. And so we don't give out anything else, no trophies, no plaques, just checks. And certificates, my bad, certificates. So I get those upon arrival, and we'll go from there. But we don't do a keynote speaker. Our speakers are award winners. So I'm glad I saw this because I need to load the Bayer's presentation onto my laptop. But does anybody have any questions about the budget? This budget has not changed very much. The only thing we could change, if you can see, is cash awards. The more people we have get state awards, the higher this can go up. So like I said, everyone gets awards. State winners or higher is presented at the luncheon. Okay. Recommendations for community involvement. I think this is a great idea. Like I said, going virtually, because as is mentioned, I'm going to say, just as Terrell said, he's not going to be there, but he's able to participate today because of this. So I'm going to say committee involvement. We have Miss Elizabeth here. She's not having a conflict with another meeting. She's able to attend this meeting, and she can attend other meetings throughout the day if she wanted to. But I'm going to say continue virtual meetings prior to conference. Unless somebody else has another recommendation for committee involvement. That's just my thoughts and my 2 cents putting in right here. Does anybody have any other thoughts on this?
I think most of the ones I've attended are in person, and typically we have our vice chairs and maybe one or two other people. So I think it does work well.
Yep. Okay. Recommendations for board actions. Actually, we're gonna say continued training for state chairs and state presidents on new website because some people still struggle with that. This was denied about moving money to a second place winner, but I'm gonna move this location saying remove postal requirement from award requirement.
I think Scott put in the chat that he already did.
Oh, okay.
So I think that'll be great. I actually think you're gonna see applications soar because when I talk to my state people, they're like, yeah, it just looks like too much.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people just weren't even trying. So those are my thoughts.
I know Nick was looking at the award. We put this in last year. Don't know if it's happened. Is the award self-nominating now, or still somebody has to nominate you? I know Nick was looking at it earlier.
I believe it's self-nominating.
Okay, so that did happen. So that is a goal that did happen. Okay, and one of the things we asked for recommendation was, can we add local media contact to the member profile? I would have to see if that's been added or not before I remove it. Cause those are action plans that went to the board last year. And so any other action plan that we need to address you think needs to go to the board? Okay. Okay, so as of right now, based on my recollect of my emails, the west is filled. Thank you, Miss Bonnie. The northeast is filled, and the incoming is filled along with the incoming southern region where they're coming from. So I do not have any recommendations. Is all positions are filled as of today. Anybody has any recommendations or anything for this committee to share with the council? Okay. What I would do is I'm going to fine tune this sheet with my remove my paraphrases, maybe add some sentences. But other than that, I hope to see everyone at the Monday luncheon. Off the top of my head, yeah, Monday luncheon. And like I said, we'll be crowd control. We'll be organization, getting stuff together. That will be our role as chairs and vice chairs of our luncheon. And I will do a shout out for the academy. I am going through the academy, NACAA Academy, Leadership Academy, and we do our presentations on Tuesday all day. I am responsible for change and resisting change, embracing change. And so feel free to stop by our leadership topics on Tuesday throughout the day. But with that, I will close by opening the floor. Does anybody have any last thoughts or comments or suggestions or anything for today's Public Relations and Agriculture Awareness Committee meeting? Okay, Scott, do you have any closing comments? I know you're attending these all day long.
No, I
you
got to
good
go
to go?
back to multitasking.
So I know you got your hands full with all day meetings, but thank you for your support and leadership with the ag agents. And with that being said, everybody can get back and grab their lunch or go back out in the field and finish doing their test plot.
Thank you,
Have a
Tyrone.
blessed week, and I'll see y'all next in Dallas soon.